What's up, man? It's your boy Plurris TJ back here with another video. In today's video, we have another podcast episode, and the title of today's episode is about the impact of growing up without a father. Me personally, I grew up with a father. You know what I'm saying? Having a father teaches a lot of things. You know, you can learn discipline slash emotional maturity, financial stability, good habits and bad habits on which not to pick up. Um, Today we back with my guy Jake, man. Um, Jay, you can go ahead and introduce yourself for the people who don't know you, who never met you before.
Yeah, so my name's Jake Brandon. I live here in Utah. I know TJ because his brother Trey is on the BYU football team, and I started a company that does NIL deals with BYU football players. Thank you for having me on tonight.
Man, good to have you. Good to have you. So one of the most important things, well, one of the first things I said was, discipline. When I say discipline, I'm more so referring to like controlling your actions. You know what I'm saying? Getting up, doing stuff when you don't feel like doing it. That's one of the things a father, can really teach you. And when I say emotional maturity, I'm also referring to, reaction, the way you keep your composure, and more so your feelings, how you keep your feelings intact. And y'all know financial stability. Your father could teach you how to make money, how to keep money, what to invest in, what not to invest in, what's good for you, what's bad for you. So today's episode should be pretty dope, and we back with my guy. So yeah, man, let's get into it. So the first thing I said was, discipline. Discipline is important, man. Like without discipline, a lot of stuff in life is it's kind of hard to do, man. What you think as far as discipline? Like, how should you discipline your child? Do you believe in physical punishment? Do you believe in putting them in time out? Like, what? How does that whole situation go?
Man, so I think there's a lot of different ways you can approach this. I like I think the most important part because I don't think there's necessarily one that's right or wrong, and I'll tell you kind of what I do. Um, but I think what is universally important is that you have boundaries with your kids.
Right.
And what boundaries look like is if they're not wanting to cooperate on something that's they need to cooperate on, it's like, hey, if you do not do this, you will get this consequence. That could be a spank on the bottom, that could be a timeout, that could be you lose TV for the week,
Right.
that could be you lose your phone if you're a teenager for this time, or screen time will go down, whatever it is, and then you follow through with it.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you've set boundaries, right?
Yeah.
And so as long as you've got boundaries and you've got follow through, then that kid will learn discipline. I have spanked every one of my kids.
Right.
And for me, that's how I grew up. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
what I know. You know what I'm saying?
And that is strict, but then again, it's like with the physical punishment thing, okay? Because like I grew up getting whoopings. You know what I'm saying? Man, I
Mhm.
probably done got a million whoopings. Like, does that create fear in a child? Like, if I whoop you, it's like you're more so scared, so you're not gonna do it again because you're scared, rather than right or wrong now. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you
Yeah.
learn that it was wrong? That's why you're not gonna do it, or you just not gonna do it anymore because you're scared? Because
Yeah, and
you know
then
what
when
I'm
you
saying?
don't, and when you think you can get away with it, or you think there's not going to be a
The
consequence,
consequence, yeah,
you're like, I don't care, I'll just do this anyway.
yeah,
I mean, I probably, at least in my experience with my siblings and me, and then my kids,
yeah,
it varies from kid to kid. Some kids will respond different ways to different things. Um, I haven't had to spank my kids a ton because I think I am so consistent with my other boundaries as well
yeah,
that they know, like, hey, if you do that, like if you don't, keep hitting your sister, or you don't do that, or you don't put that back like we told you to, or put that away, like I will give you spanking.
yeah,
They know, like I'm serious. So I haven't had to do it tons of times, maybe half a dozen times with each one of my kids, and then I use the other boundaries as well. I do think though that a lot of receiving a consequence starts as fear.
yeah,
I think that is. I think it's just a natural human reaction to, like, I mean, at work, if you're late 4 or 5 days in a row, or maybe one day, and your boss is kind of strict,
yeah,
you're gonna feel fear.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a natural response of like, oh, I might have a bad consequence. I might have a negative
yeah,
consequence. But the trade off is you need kids who are respectful, who know how to follow rules, who know how to get along with other people, who know how to have a healthy relationship and not be just a taker, or be annoying, or be whatever they understand. Because I think that's kind of something else you mentioned, like social skills comes hand in
yeah,
hand
yeah, they do,
with that discipline.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. Like I say, emotional maturity.
mm,
Like I say, reactions, and more so controlling your feelings, having feelings intact. Cause like, think about it, if you don't have a father, you know what I'm saying? Certain you don't know how to react to certain situations. Certain
Hmm.
situations might come, you may have anger, you might want to fight, you may want to, you know what I'm saying? So it's our decision making. But then again, it's like a father can teach that, but at the same time, when a child acts out, is that really wrong? Because hear me out. It's a thing in the front of the head called the prefrontal cortex.
Hmm.
So, referring to the prefrontal cortex, the brain is not fully developed until a child is 25 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, the brain is not fully developed. So, a child really doesn't know right or wrong for real until he or she is 25 years old. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, like, if a father isn't there, you know what I'm saying, in your early teens or your early teens or your early 20s, you may not know right or wrong. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're just making bad decisions, but it's like my brain isn't developed. So, it's kind of
Yeah.
like, I got a reason to do this. So is that
Yeah.
like what you think?
No, that's a really good point. Um, I think that a good way to look at it is probably around 8, 9, 10, depending on the kid. You can start to kind of determine what's right and wrong, but your accuracy is not 100%. Like you kind of know, you kind of start to know, like, okay, this is right, this is
You're
wrong.
wrong. Yeah.
But it's very black and white. You don't understand really why it's wrong or why it's right. You can't reason through complex situation of, well, should I do this if this is the case? And but I think at 25, you're able to really to know what's right and wrong and why this is right
Right or
and
wrong.
why this is wrong. Why we treat women with respect or why we don't cheat in school. It's not because you won't get caught, but you might know I'll get my name on the board with a check by it or whatever if I
Yeah.
don't raise my hand or I don't do that. But you don't understand why. Why are they trying to teach me to do those
It's
things
yeah.
until you're maybe 25? So I think you can kind of start to figure this out around 8, 9, or 10. But at 25, you have the full power of that frontal lobe, can kind of reason out like, okay,
Yeah.
well, this is why, and this is good for me. And I need to maybe set my own boundaries and my own limits and my own kind of discipline.
So that goes into my next question. Do you think like so you play sports, you get
Mhm.
coaches, mentors. I mean, even maybe like stepdads. Do you think can they fill the role of being a father or is that not possible?
I think for sure, easy question is 100% they can help. Like sometimes you hear the same old stuff from your dad the same way over and
Maybe you need
over
to hear it
again,
from
and you're like,
somebody
okay,
else.
freak, dad, I know,
Yeah.
like I know, and then you hear from someone else, and it's a fresh take, and you have a different relationship with them. 1,000% that helps. Fully fill in, and I don't know because I think there is something about like your DNA, man, like your flesh and blood that is unique
Yeah.
to that relationship of father and son. But there's some amazing stepdads out there who are probably you wouldn't know a difference if they were or weren't, right?
Yeah.
There's probably some amazing coaches and mentors out there who've turned people's lives around. So every case is unique, every case is different. But I think if you want a really well-rounded kid, like you want a child who really knows and has a lot of respect and has a lot of things, get as many solid people around them as you can
Yeah.
to have influence. That's why sports are huge, church can be huge, like different things can be big.
Yeah. I feel like the presence of a father is so like strong. I don't think a lot of people understand how strong a father actually being there, is. That makes me kind of want to ask, do you think a father not being there impacts more so a son or like a daughter?
So I think both kids are going to look to your dad and like you said as like that protector, as that provider, cuz as a kid you're completely vulnerable, man.
Yeah, you
Like
are.
you can't, like what do you have control over or what do you know? Like you don't know
You don't know
anything.
much, really.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you know what you've been told or what you've seen, and that's about it. And then so you have a guy in your life who unconditionally loves you and looks after you and all that. Like that's big for both kids.
Yeah.
I think if you want your daughters to have a healthy relationship with men
Yeah.
and be able to set boundaries with men when they're older, it's really important that they have a father and has boundaries set like that. And they also see a father who respects his wife or their mother
Right.
that way. And that kind of sets that example for you. So, in that aspect, I would almost say it's super important for a daughter. Now, daughters and mothers, they grow up and they're almost like sisters once they grow up. It's
Yeah.
like they're like friends and that. And the dad still has kind of a dad relationship, but doesn't get on that like personal friendship level as maybe as much. Maybe it depends on families. I don't know.
That's not even a bad take. It's a
No.
good perspective because like if I had to look at it from the other perspective, having to pick one, I'd say like it affects a son more.
Yeah.
A father could teach, a son how to be a man, but a
Mhm.
mother more so can't. You know what I'm saying? Like a mother can, hey, I don't think you should do this, do this, do this, teach, but necessarily as like physically teach a man how to be a man, they can't. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa.
Yeah.
It's certain stuff that a girl can run to their dad and say, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to going to their mother. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like just certain stuff you just can't go to your mother with. Additionally, a father is like somebody who can, build you up. I mean, so like that's one of the things my father has taught me, confidence. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I know I'm a star, man.
Yeah.
Nobody got to tell me. So I got a crown on my head. Can't nobody knock that off. That's just me. Not even in an arrogant way.
Mhm.
It's just confidence.
Yeah.
Having a father probably makes the story 10 times better. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of people. What you think?
So it's just you just never know, but I think it can make a story better
Yeah.
if it's like
Yeah.
fuels you to go and do that, but you just never know what
But
effect
then again, it's
it'll
like
have.
if you step out on your family or you leave your family or your children or whatever the case may be, why come back when you see they obtained these millions or the success is being attained? Like why do people do that? Why do you want to come back now? You want to build a relationship now or now
Yeah.
you want something. Like why where were you on the come up? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
me personally, and some people might get hit by this. I feel like if you run out on your kids or you don't take care of your responsibilities, you have no respect for me. Like straight up, man to
Mhm.
man, you don't have no respect for me. You know what I'm saying? That's a punk move. That's a coward move. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So if you have kids, man, own up to what's yours. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because who are you to say no? I don't want this person. Who like the last question I'm gonna ask: what you think about like for the people that didn't grow up with their father? You know what I'm saying? That's getting older. That might have suffered emotional distress. Do you think it's ever too late to establish a relationship with your father?
I don't. I don't. I think I believe in forgiveness.
Yeah.
I believe in the atonement of Jesus Christ. Like I believe you can always make amends. You can always atone. You can always repair. There's nothing beyond repair. That doesn't mean it's hard. It's hard probably. It's not going to
Yeah.
be easy, but it's possible. If you want to turn it around, there's two things you got. There's two things you got to have going for you. One is you got to be ready to turn it around. You got to be like, all right, I need to change. I got to change. I'm sick of the way things are, or I'd like things to be better, or I want this relationship, or I want that. That's step one.
Right.
Step two is you got to have a belief in yourself that you can do it. Like, hey, I can see myself with a good relationship with my dad or a good relationship with my son or whatever it may be. And I believe that I can do that. I can be forgiven or I can build from scratch, build a whole new relationship of it. Because if you don't have the belief that you can do that it's possible, you won't try. And if you aren't ready for the change, the step one to be ready or desire to be different, then you won't try. But if you got those two things going for you, then yeah, I think
Yeah.
anyone can do it.
Yeah, man. Well, that was dope, man. That was today's episode from two different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. Where can people follow you on social media? Shout your social media out, man.
Yeah, man. So I'm on Twitter at Jake Brandon. And I'm also Kook Connect is on Twitter and Instagram. I have an Instagram, Jake Milkman73. You can follow me there on that. So that's the best place to follow me on the socials.
That's what's up. And y'all know my social media. Plurus TJ on every platform. YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, everything. And that's gonna be the end of today's episode. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Yep.